Hey guys, VaulSC here, hope that you are doing well. Main point of communication today is that the map for Season 2, Round 1 of the Infinity Tabletop Simulator League is now available. So what you want to do right now is click on the link in the video description of this video and it will take you to this page on Steam right here. You go and click on the subscribe button, and after you've done that you can load up Tabletop Simulator and you'll be here. And when you go into the menu, it'll be under your workshop, and you click on this, and there it is. You'll be in this room. So the map is available. Everybody can play on it and use it and practice it. The first game will be underway this Friday, so don't actually play against your opponent yet, although you might even want to set up your deployment and talk to them about how you're playing the terrain. But the main thing is that it's available now, and that's primarily the one thing that I wanted to say in this video. So we'll take the time to talk a little bit more about the map. But first of all, let's just get to a couple of news items. So one thing I wanted to let you guys know is that Corvus Belli sent their ITS manager, Hellois, to talk to me on email. And we've had some pleasant conversations on email. It's been really good. Hellois did offer me a free ITS code to use for this tournament, which would mean that it would be an official ITS tournament. You know, wow. Tabletop Simulator, Corvus Belli backing it, which is pretty crazy. Now, unfortunately, I've had to decline the use of the ITS code this time around, and I just want to explain why. So I've basically already processed the sign-ups and the registrations of 170 people. I've sorted them into tournament, casual, and league. I've done that already. We've gone by people's Discord names. I've gone through and manually changed the role of every individual person. A lot of people have sort of, done what they need to get it sorted out, and then they've forgotten about it, so they're going to be hard to contact again. So going and getting everybody's ITS codes and uploading them that way and sorting them out would be really hard. Secondarily, normally you'd put a list into OTM, but as you guys know, we're not doing it that way this time around. You're actually coming up with a new list every single game. And also there's my custom missions, and if I put in some placeholder missions online, it could be a bit confusing. So, look, next time around maybe. Next time if we do a Season 3, sure, we'll be prepared. I had no idea that Corvus Belli would want to back this kind of thing, but since they do, we'll think about integrating a bit better with them next time around, and we'll communicate better, okay? Having said that, he did say something about giving us some vouchers to give to the winners. So hey, free money. I didn't turn that one down. Like, I'm all for taking the free vouchers if Corvus Belli wants to give them to us. Of course, we'll hand them out to first, second, third, or whoever else we're gonna do. So that's one piece of news that I wanted to tell you guys. Thank you, Corvus Belli, for reaching out to me on that one. They've been really good with the 3D project as well as Tabletop Simulator lately. It's kind of funny. I remember reading a thread on the forums way back, I think in March, and somebody was saying, do you think that Corvus Belli would ever support a Tabletop Simulator tournament? And a lot of people were like, no, they can't make money out of that. No, they'd hate the idea of that. And then, and then this, right? Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about that some other time. All right, so back to this map. Now, in fact, just before we get to the map, I'll just quickly talk about what's going on with the league. So, the latest update from me here on the spreadsheet is that over in the main tournament, I have entered in, how many is it now? God, 127 people, I think, for the main tournament. We've got 30, so 29 in casual, and Code 1's sitting at 17 right now. If you go over to the Round 1 tab, I have given pairings to most of the tournament players. The rest will come in as the last few trickle in until Friday. Tonight I did pairings for the first 20 signups for casual, so I've given everybody an opponent. Bob, man, I'm coming for you. So make sure you know who your opponent is, send them a DM, get to know them, talk about when you want to play, and talk about the map, talk about everything so that you're prepared. It'd be great to have everybody's games played this weekend, so there's less stress for me, but I know that's unlikely to happen. A lot of you guys are going to be filtering in results throughout the week, but the thing is, if you leave it too long, the following Friday is going to come around and it'll be ready for round 2. Okay, finally, the map. Now, when you come into the workshop, do note that over here next to the stage area, I have placed 3 bags. The grey bag is this map that you're seeing here for the league. What I suggest you do is you save it as an object and import it into the actual workshop, the base workshop mod. The reason I say that is that the modding team are working like crazy and are constantly updating this mod. And my workshop instance that is saved today is going to get old really quickly. It's going to go out of fashion really fast. And if you're having to be watching this a month or two down the track, if you come into my workshop, there'll be a lot of things missing by then. So what you can do is if you save the league, have I got it saved at the moment? I've got the map collection saved anyway, so that's another way to get to it. If I go to games and I go to the workshop where the base mod is, and I load that up, anytime you do that, you'll get the latest version of the mod. So here we are here in the Infinity official mod. Then all you need to do is come up to where you saved your object. In my case, I've got it in the map collection, which I store in another workshop. And I'll go in there and I'll grab my map. Here it is here, set Season 2, Round 1, League, Oblique, which is the map we want. So I'll pop that out. There it is there, 103 objects I think it is. And I'll just drag it over to this green area and I'll just drop that in. And it will load the map. So it'll allow you to bring my map into your latest instance of the mod, right? Not only that, but when you go into the base mod, so when you go into my workshop, you'll actually see a couple of black bags for Code 1 players as well, right? So what you can do there is if you're playing Code 1, you could play on my map, you could use my mission, but you don't have to. Let's say you're playing a 25 or 30 point game, you drop this in, and it'll bring in a little, dinky little map for Code 1. How about that? This is courtesy of Why Rock No Die, I think. And he's made this little map here for Code 1 players to play. But let's say you want to start a little bit smaller. You want to play an even smaller map. We'll just bring this one in, drop that there. With these bags, by the way, you have to really left-click and hold for a while and then move. If you do it too quickly, it'll bring stuff out of the bag, so don't do that. Anyway, so that is how to come to a fresh instance of the mod and load up the maps. So hopefully that makes sense. If I jump back into my actual workshop, though, let's talk about it. So obviously there's going to be a camp of people that always says, no, your sight lanes are too long. And then there's going to be some people who are like, no, jammers and chain rifles are too good. And you can't please everybody. But given that I've got an approval rating of above 90% for last season, I decided not to stress about it too much and just make a typical map that I'm really familiar with and comfortable with. So deployment zone over here, let's turn on the grid. Show lines. Okay, so for the first, they're in increments of 4 inches. So the first 3 blocks up, you've got normal deployment. Then your medium infantry, forward deployers kind of thing can come up over here. So your medium infantry snipers and so forth can deploy on that wall. That's no worries. There's a really long fire lane here. If you put somebody like here, in fact, let me get my bag out. I had some models just to demonstrate this with. Saved objects, bag. Let's bring in a Tango Flamenspear. So we've got this dinky little guy here doing some arrows. Here he comes. So he's clearly got a long fire lane right down there. By the way, the new measuring tool is pretty cool. I'm not too sure if you guys tried that out, but there's some new options for drawing lines. There's some different presets and things you can do with that. So there is that. If you bring your guy over here, it's a lot harder. So I've deliberately closed off some of the lanes. Like you can't actually get behind this crate. There's no line through there. I've actually ensured that's the case unless you deploy your guy up this side. So there are some spots where the line of fire is kind of cut off, right? With this house, if you only deploy 12 inches up, you can't go up next to the far wall. But if you have medium infantry or forward deployment, you can go up there, if that makes sense. Similar sort of thing with this little mini house here. As usual, I put ladders everywhere because I really like accessibility. It's a really important thing to me on Infinity maps. Again, we've got a long fire lane here and here. Technically, this blocks line of sight, but you can see past it in certain angles. You can take cover behind the antenna. Through the horizontal side of the map, I've closed things off, although this approach to the deployment zone is pretty brutal. But the thing is, you can always hide behind the walls and inside these houses, so both deployment zones, in my opinion, have got more than enough. Just also think about as well, Oblique Assault being a bit of a direct contact kind of mission where you're trying to really trade, but also do a lot of damage to your opponent. On this side, yep, you can put your Noctifor or your post-human sniper or whatever it is up on top of the building. But you may find yourself a bit blocked off because these, you can't see through underneath these little walls here. You've got, you can deploy in this corner, have a good view down this side, a little bit around that side, that's fine. But again, you're exposed. If anybody's on the upper level, you're not going to get cover against them, so it's a risk, right? It's a trade-off. On this side, yep, you could put a guy right back here behind this thing. If you do that, you've got a pretty good line through there and into the house, so as soon as they come into the building, you're going to be able to trace that line of fire right through there, but of course not through the back window. But again, there's some cutoff. I mean, you're missing a lot of lines of fire over here. If anything, this table's a bit too closed. It's just that there happen to be some really long fire lanes on some parts of the battlefield. But I always try to make them such that they are thin lines of fire. They can be blocked off by smoke. You can do a cautious move past the lane. So there's a lot of things you can do. Obviously, you can just engage them with your HMG or sniper or whatever it is. But there you go. I feel like picking tableside will still be relevant. There are definitely differences between the deployment zone, which is something that we want. Oblique Assault is a mission where it's actually really good to go second sometimes, but going first if you're confident you're going to get the damage, it's also a good choice. But because both options can be quite similar, deployment is also a great choice. And that's one thing I love about this mission, is that all of those options available to you when you have that lieutenant roll-off are really good and valid, whereas some of the ITS missions, just not the case. There's really one strategy and that's it. Cool, so hopefully you guys have a good time with this map. I'll be designing the next map, obviously next week for the next season, so give me some feedback about how your games go on this one. But I'm sure you'll be fine. You guys have played on my maps before, so I think you'll be alright. And yeah, so sign-ups are going to continue for a little bit longer. Tonight for me it's Wednesday, so you've got just under 48 hours to sign up for tournament. If you don't make it in by then, we'll keep the casual sign-ups open for another week after that. Code 1 players, you can come and go as you please. Some people have been asking me to change factions. Yes, you can still change faction, but not if I've given you an opponent already. However, if you've already got an opponent and you want to change faction, as long as you clear it with them first, not me, ask them if they're okay with you changing, then you can. I mean, I don't want people to sort of see this map and go, oh, I should have taken this faction. Remember, there's going to be 5 different maps. It's going to change, so try not to get too concerned about all of that. In the meantime, 3D Infinity Miniatures project is going really well, as you guys can see from my Tanko flying around here. We've got, what was his name again? Antipodes Bolt, helping us out with some of the processing now, which has been Antipode and Bolt, helping us out with the processing. So he's done this Tanko for me after I did the images. So it's really useful to have a few guys there just cranking the workflow, which is really, really cool. I've got a couple of dudes on email as well. And yes, I have had volunteers for the data entry. So thanks very much, guys who asked. We've got that covered now. And yeah, just really looking forward to this league. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully you guys have a good time as well. Hopefully you get to play Bobman on Saturday morning my time, maybe. Or no, it's probably more like Sunday morning my time. We'll see how things go. Yeah, just can't wait. So thanks for watching, guys. Try the map, enjoy, subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.